From the historic crossover to the mothership becoming the most watched non-sport show on the channel, NCIS has kept the fans on their toes. And the recent episode just gave us something we didn't even know we needed. And that's the reason why Torres and Sawyer's bromance must go on. The fans have been waiting impatiently to see former characters like Michael Weatherly or Leroy Gibbs come back, even if it's for just one mission. So it's refreshing to see a recurring guest star getting some love for a change, and he's none other than Zane Holtz. The actor returned to the show to resume his role as Special Agent Dale Sawyer. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited to see him on the NCIS squad. And what's even better is, if he gets more screen time, we could finally get to see him and Nick Torres get closer. There's always room for good bromances on TV. And this is your warning that this video contains spoilers for Season 20, Episode 12. Sawyer's first appearance in this season's episode, Big Rig, was shocking to say the least. He reunited with Torres in a dark alleyway, and their conversation gave Torres the impression that he was in some deep trouble, or maybe even that he's a suspect in some murder case. Why else would he just disappear? But Torres was able to find Sawyer later on in the episode with the help of the NCIS crew and the FBI. But things did not get easier for either, as the two almost died on the mission. After the two reunited, Nick decided to infiltrate the criminal organization that Sawyer was working on. Why did he do that? In an attempt to protect him out of guilt. But Nick's involvement only made things worse for the two, and Sawyer's cover was blown. Getting into trouble together, tell me a better start to a bromance. I'll wait. The two opposites of friends cleverly worked together, and in the end, things worked out and both were able to get out unscathed. Both agents came a long way. These are the same guys who almost killed each other in a fight club. But since Torres and Sawyer lived to see another day, I honestly believe that CBS should give Sawyer more screen time from now on. And if that happens, you can bet your money we'll see the duo get closer in future episodes. Sawyer and Torres already have a captivating dynamic. Why not add on to it, right? And the creators might be thinking the same thing. The latest episode was a treat to watch, especially with Nick Torres. Torres was on the edge in this episode when he initially thought that Sawyer had died. The agent felt guilty because he turned down the mission that Sawyer was sent on. That little detail could have been the start of their rocky relationship turning into a bromance. And let me tell you, the writers also had some tricks up their sleeves. In Big Rig, it seems as though the writers intentionally left it unclear whether or not Nick could trust Sawyer. And the positive of that ambiguity is that it created a beautiful chemistry between the two agents. When Nick found Sawyer, he had to put his faith in him that he only needed more time to crack the case open. But the two men butted heads instead. Sawyer also had to realize that Nick wouldn't let him stay undercover alone and deal with Nick's constant involvement in the operation, unless Sawyer gave up on the whole operation. Even though Nick's power move backfired and the two almost lost their lives, you still can't deny that their back-and-forth chemistry keeps the show interesting. For starters, both are stubborn and certain that they know better than each other. Yes, it caused some issues, but when things really started to blow, the two men worked together like clockwork to catch the fugitives. It was like Torres and Bishop's best times together, minus the romantic tension though. It was just two agents riding the waves of justice and danger to maintain law and order. A great formula for many classic Hollywood films, just like how Sawyer might be the perfect formula for NCIS. Why? Well, the agent fits in with the squad despite his lesser appearances. Sawyer first appeared in Season 18's Gut Punch. Actor Zane Holtz later returned as Dale Sawyer in Season 19 Fight or Flight. Even with just a few appearances here and there, Sawyer's presence at the trivia night with the NCIS team felt natural, and the show clearly enjoys bringing him back as well. He even brought pizza, which was a big hit with the task team. So, why not just keep him? Truth be told, I'm not completely sure how the show's writers plan to organically weave a new agent, especially someone who seems to specialize in deep cover missions in each episode of the show. But maybe this recent escapade will make Sawyer realize that he made a mistake by being an all-undercover agent. Who knows? Maybe he'll be hired as an agent with the NCIS squad instead. Here's hoping. Of course, adding a new character like Torres could cause some adjustments to be made, but seeing what he brings to the table, I think it would be well worth it in the end. Besides, Nick could use a partner as well. At the end of season 18, Bishop was in hot water for allegedly leaking classified NSA information. Initially, she fought to establish her innocence. In fact, everyone did, until Bishop told them to stop. Turns out, she actually did leak the info. Not even Torres could help her get out of it. This was it for her, and she had become a disgraced agent by the time she left the service. Aside from Bishop, I haven't seen Torres develop a relationship with an NCIS character as he did with Sawyer in Big Rig. While NCIS probably doesn't need another love interest to detract from the cute Jimmy and Knight relationship, if you ask me, I think a bro like Sawyer can help fill the vacuum in Torres's life. However, unless Zane Holtz appears in other episodes, we won't know for sure. Let's hope the showrunners feel the same way, especially since the viewers seem to love this bromance. Torres spends the entire episode doing everything in his power to help bring Sawyer back, and his honest confessions end up being the deciding factor in whether or not they both survive. Because of the significant growth in their characters, viewers couldn't get enough and shared their reactions online. Fans took to Reddit to express their feelings. One fan wrote that they're glad to see Sawyer again, and I think it was great that they brought him back for the boxing episode last year as well. They also wrote that they loved how Sawyer and Torres got closer. Another Reddit user felt the same way and said that Sawyer has his own style, which they like, and that it was nice to see him again and find out more about him. So it's safe to say that Redditors love Sawyer. And similarly, people on Twitter were just as happy to see Nick Torres and Dale Sawyer's friendship continue to grow as those on Reddit. One user said they loved how Torres and Sawyer worked together, and that they hope to see a lot more of them in the future. Another user wrote, "This thing between Torres and Sawyer? I approve." A big fan of this episode wrote that it was really great. It was nice to see Sawyer grow as a person. Overall, this dynamic duo was met with a lot of positive reviews, and that warrants a continuation in my books. So, CBS, make it happen, please. Anyway, that was the best bromance of all time. See you in the next video.